It's like one of the top 3 shows in Japan.
What?
I filmed it in high school. Yeah. So,
I've known you for 4 days and you never mentioned that.
This is not like...
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we have with us Sonya, my new best friend. We met 3 days ago and we're in love, so there you go. She is an actor, singer, writer, artiste extraordinaire.
Oh man.
All these things. But we're gonna dive right in, and I wanna ask you, what was that defining moment for you when you were like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do this for life, for real, it's not a hobby. It's more than a like, it's more than a crush, and that is a Disney song.
Oh.
But I don't know what song it is, so shut up. Anyways.
Well, so defining moment was the day that I saw Oklahoma.
Were you
by a
like,
local? I think I was 9. I saw it at a local high school. It was probably a really horrible performance, to be honest. But I fell in love with it and decided to cast all of my friends and put the movie on, made a script by pausing every 2 seconds
and
writing it in my notebook.
Oh my God.
Then literally went to school at recess, cast it, and put it on in my living room, and my parents were like, this is a problem. Like,
wait,
we're screwed.
that's dedication. You wrote down the whole thing?
Yeah.
In a notebook?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, I didn't know that you could get movie scripts online or anything.
Yeah, so. Of course. Naturally.
No, so I feel like, honestly, like, between growing up with Bollywood and growing up with movie musicals and, like, having musicians in my house every single day, like, it was just everywhere, and then I was obsessed with movie musicals. That's, like, kind of where it started.
Yeah.
And then my dad was 15 and was like, you have to pick what you want to do with your life. And I was like, oh... okay. Like,
yeah. Well, I guess that's a good question. So you decided what to do with your life, and then your parents were like, cool? Because I know, like, typically around parents weren't like, yeah, you should be an actress, girl. Like, that doesn't always happen. So, like, what was that process of being like, Mom and Dad, this is what I'm going to do, and how was the reaction from them?
Well, my mom, who is not brown, was like, she's a musician. So she grew up like always knowing what she wanted to do from the time she was really young.
Yeah.
And my parents had a love marriage, obviously. But my dad is in engineering. I know.
I love that.
So we love that. I love them, honestly.
I do.
They're the best.
They sound awesome.
You'll meet them. It'll be great.
Okay, good.
No, but I think that just like because of my mom, and then also my dad is in music on the side, like very much on the side.
Very much on the side. Like an
IIT rock band. Like,
Uncle Rock Band, which honestly I'm waiting to get inducted into.
No,
I think I would do really well.
You would actually like
I could do like a little tambourine action, you know?
No, you would be like, they would take you in instantly. There's actually a Zoom party you should come to soon.
Link me fast.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be there. You guys also come. Imagine, there's just like 50 people that are just watching.
I mean, it would be really good.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
No, but so, and like my dad always was just like, do what you want to do. Like you could fail at anything. So do what you want to do and don't leave anything on the table. Like go 110%. For it. And to this day, he's like, Sonya, like, you could have been an awesome engineer. Like, I know you could have. Like, I did calculus with you in high school. Like, I know you could have done that. But he also is like, I saw you play Marine West Side Story last year and I don't know, I just think that, like, he believes in me, which is honestly kind of rare. Like, to that extent, to have, like, I don't know. I feel really, really lucky that I have the support of my parents and always have.
And, you know, I think for brown parents, it's also less of, it's not so rare as much as they're just worried.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, you really could fail at anything. Like, imagine if you decided to be a doctor and then you failed your MCATs. Like, you would have also had to, like, start from scratch.
And you don't want to live in regret. Like, I think that's the other thing.
Totally.
You don't want to do something totally different and then be like, oh, like, but what if I had done that other thing, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. What was the first time kind of like, I guess not seeing yourself act, but like, you know, being on stage, like you had that moment of like, oh, I'm doing this. What was that like? Like, was it in high school? Were you in like a production, or what was like your first time being like, this is it, dude.
This is it.
I'm doing this and I'm kind of good at this.
Yeah, you know, I feel like I don't really have a moment like
it was like a slow.
Like yeah, I think it was like a slow progression. I did this like really strange I did this really strange TV show in high school.
What? What?
It only aired in Japan. It's funny, I've worked in Japan a good amount.
What was the premise?
It's like one of the top 3 shows in Japan.
What?
I filmed it in high school. Yeah. So,
I've known you for 4 days and you never mentioned that.
This is not like that. It's not on my resume anymore. But it was like the first professional, like legit professional thing I did.
Okay.
And I was on screen, but I got to like improvise a lot because everything I was doing was going to be dubbed over in Japanese, so it didn't matter what I said. And my character got shot in the face.
What?
Literally, this.
Was it like a terrorist show? Like what was going on in the show?
The point of the show is it's like all based on. Remember that woman that like lost her finger in a chili, or like found a finger in her chili at Wendy's and like sued chili.
Yeah.
Or not sued Wendy's.
Sued Wendy's.
Brain. They sued Wendy's.
Yeah.
So like they'll take a story like that and be like, let's make this into an episode of this crazy TV show and show how crazy Americans are.
Dude, that's so funny.
So
where did you film it?
San Francisco.
That's so funny.
So it wasn't that story, but it was this girl who literally got shot in the face by her boyfriend's friend, and then she survives. And they put a new face on her face, and then she goes to school for the blind, and then she falls in love with a blind man, and then she's a baby. So like
this is a true story?
Yes, this all happened. Her name was like Chrissy Steltz or something. I don't know.
I have to look this up.
No,
I'm amazed.
I don't even really know, but that's what I did. And it was honestly like so cool though, because I got to like, we had all these crazy hospital scenes. I felt like I was on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
And I remember like having to like break down crying and then have this moment where I was like, oh, like I lost my face. And I was 16, I think, when I did this.
Yeah.
And I just had this moment of like, this is the most fun I've ever had. And I'm trying to think of like shows I did. They were like, I don't know. I did some fun shows. I feel like the stuff like when I really got to what I want to do, it was in college.
Oh, right, yeah.
Material-wise, I was like, oh, this is the stuff that like makes me like think and physically get in my body in a different way. But that was the first time I was like, whoa, I love acting. Like I'm literally transforming who I am. Like I have to pretend that I was shot in the face.
Which is like not an easy thing to pretend.
I mean, yeah.
It's definitely not like a relatable situation.
They had makeup on me, so like
there was like see yourself in that.
I mean, I literally couldn't see myself.
Wait, what do you mean?
They had this prosthetic like on my face, but there's a moment where they're shooting me and I can kind of like see through it a little bit, but there's a doctor and he's like, you will never see again, you will never smell again. And I'm like, you know, you have that moment.
Yeah.
I like
you know
broke
when you're
down.
shot in the face,
right,
and that just happens to you and the doctor's like, you will never see
No,
that.
exactly. So I would say that was a big
I was definitely, more hysterical when I got shot in the face, but
You look great after.
Thank you. I got a new face put on and now I'm in love with this guy. But I'm also blind.
This woman actually had like a magnetic face put so she could like take it off.
What? What was under?
Like, I don't think you want to.
Wait, what? This story just went like flew off the handle. Oh my god. Okay, but let's talk.
I don't know if this is you want to use this.
You know what? We're gonna go. We're gonna keep that.
Great.
I'm gonna look that girl up, and I want to see what she's up to after this. But let's go back to you in high school. So when you were there, were you like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and like theater is it?
Yeah.
Or were you like, theater ain't it? Like,
no, theater was it for me, and I was like one of those kids that I was sort of like a floater socially, but I was always like, see ya, you know? Like I didn't do much high school theater. I didn't do like dance team. I would like take dance separately. I would like go to San Francisco and like take my acting classes. Cause like I just like needed to be separate from the whole high school scene for myself.
Yeah. It's hard.
Like I played Sandy in Grease in high school, like the local theater, but like not at my high school. And I really wanted to focus on training and like college prep.
Yeah.
Because I think when I was 15 and my dad was
built
like
a portfolio, right?
Yeah, but well, actually no. Like I had to like really prepare for auditions. That was the biggest thing. And like by portfolio for me, it would be like build your songbook, build your monologue book, like build your rep. And so that's what I was really, really focused on in high school. And
wait, so can you walk me through like the overall process of that, basically? I didn't apply to like any art stuff.
Yeah.
You like, it's like a self-tape or like a performance video?
Some of them were self-tapes, but a lot of them were in person.
Oh,
and sometimes you had to get pre-screened, so like you had to make a tape before.
So that way they know you don't suck. And then they're like, okay, round one.
Right.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
No, that sounds really like something I could do right now, but I don't think I would have been able to do it as a teenager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not that I could like sing like that, but it's like one of the things that like now I have the confidence to be like, okay, I could like attempt this. But then as a teenager, were you like, oh my God, what if they think I suck?
Oh yeah.
But you definitely don't. But then like, you know, as a kid,
no, but maybe I did. Like it's very possible.
What songs did you pick? Do you remember?
I think I sang "If I Loved You" from Carousel.
Classic.
Do you know that song?
Yes.
Yes.
Lesser known facts about me is I've done a lot of vocal training.
Yeah.
But I was never in the musicals in my high school because I was in a cultural club that happened the same semester. So it was just like, for me, I'd rather like goof around with my friends and do other stuff than, I just never even auditioned. So who knows what would have happened.
But did you sing "If I Loved You"?
No, I didn't. But I knew like this teacher I had, because I did like a summer of opera training. She had like this giant book.
Yeah.
And like different like musical theater songs, opera songs. Then I had to like skim through it and like pick one to do for like the end of summer recital. I have moments where I'm like, when I'm singing it, I'm like, this is amazing.
Well, it feels good. There's like a moment when you're like this. Yeah. Like I feel sometimes like if I'm in the zone, it's like all of the chakras align. Like,
yeah. No, dead ass.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly.
I'm like mind, body, soul, spirit. Like everything.
2 weeks ago, my roommate was gone. And so I like was singing in my house alone, and that's like really nice because you can't like, you're not worried. Like I don't know, I'm always like, she's in the other room.
If someone can hear you, you're like always a little subconscious about
but
it.
she was gone, and I was just like, I am literally Celine Dion. Like I was like having a moment, and then I like woke up the next morning and I was like, that was really cringe. Like, what was going on with me?
No, but I'm sure it was.
But I was like belting.
But all that matters is that like you feel good. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, unless you're like recording it, I guess. But,
yeah, I guess.
Unless it's for an audience.
Yeah.
But if you practice and then it starts to always feel that way, and then you can like, I don't know.
I wish I had better discipline. But anyways, this is not about me. This is about you. Back to you. So acting and these kind of things, they're opportunity based. And so what does it mean for you to trust the process? How do you define trusting the process? And how do you not, like, okay, so coronavirus hit and we were talking about how you want to be on Broadway this year, but now Broadway's like not a thing.
Right.
So then it's like, do you find yourself like, oh crap, like you hit a wall? How do you like talk yourself around that? And like, what is your way of staying afloat during things? Because, you know, in a situation like this, it's not your fault. It's not like you didn't.
To be honest, I was really grateful for the time. Like looking back, I'm so grateful for the like incubative period of time that came because of having to be on lockdown in a pandemic.
Yeah.
I had just come back from doing like one of the biggest project I've done in theater for sure. I was in Tokyo, like I was literally like playing a dream part.
She was in West Side Story in Tokyo.
Yeah. It was in this like epic stage. It was a 360 stage.
That's so cool.
1,400 seat theater. Like it was epic.
That's so cool.
And it's like been a dream part of mine for a long time, which you know.
Yeah.
But so I like came back from doing that and was like, I have all these goals, I have all these aspirations, and I come back to like freezing cold New York City, and I'm like, and I was in my head for like January and February of like, I'm like, oh, pilot season's starting, like I have to be all these things, and I like, cut off my hair, and I was like, I need to be like this thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I was just so in this mindset of like, I need to get to this point, and I got a couple of projects which were like some Broadway bound readings and some things that were like, oh, like I'm turning those wheels, but I was so focused on like product. I wasn't focused on
process.
What I was doing to like be a better actress and a better singer. And as much as I like tried to do that, it was like I would practice for an audition. I would practice for
it's like in relation to a project.
Yeah, exactly. Everything was like about somebody else's approval or opinion or whatever. And even if I would try to work for myself, it was like, oh, I have to like make this into something, right?
Yeah.
So then I went home and I was with my family, and I was like, I took some time to not do anything.
Like a mental reset.
Right, not do anything, right?
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, I really miss singing. And so I just started singing through all the songs that I love. And then I started going, my mom does classical singing, classical music. So I started doing like lots of stuff with her. And that just like ignited a different part of my brain. I started sight reading. I started doing all this stuff that was like not what I'm really used to. Yeah, exactly. It was so, and it was like not for anyone. I started playing piano again. I started doing all this. And then I started taking virtual voice lessons with my old teacher from college who I love. She's like such a like guru for me, to be honest. And and she's like so spiritual too in the way that she sings with me. I love that about her. So I would take with her and then just give myself at least an hour every day to practice. And it wasn't for anybody except for myself.
Yeah.
And that was game changing. And then I just got into a rhythm of it, and the discipline of it it made me feel good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you could get really depressed in quarantine. Yeah. And it was the thing that kept me so happy.
Absolutely.
And consistently happy. And I was like, this is a thing I can rely on. Like, I can be my own rock. Yeah. Which was so cool.
That's an interesting space to get to, I think, when you realize that you're not doing it for applause. Yeah. Like in the world that we live in, it's like everything's so social media driven, where it's like if you went out to dinner and you didn't post it, did you go out to dinner? If you wore a cute outfit and you didn't post it, did you wear the cute outfit? Whereas like what you're saying is just like, no, you just really do it for yourself. Right. You just do.
And I think actually not posting about it gives you a different sense of ownership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, that's what it really has been. And then coming back here and then there haven't been that many singing projects, but like when I do have to like make a video of me singing, I come from such a different place than I ever was coming from before.
Yeah.
So much less stress, so much like, I'm just gonna enjoy this and make this like audition process for me about me enjoying this, so I get something out of it regardless if I get this job or not, you know?
That's interesting. I really like that. I think like you should always be able to like take away and learn things that aren't necessarily like delivery based. Like, maybe I didn't get the job, but I learned this. And like
it's so easy to get in your head. And I'm just like, if we just find the joy, it's like,
because there's a
every
reason
moment
why
is worth it.
People start singing in the first place, or acting in the first place, or even like modeling or other things. It could be literally any field. Like you started it because you had an interest, and somewhere along those lines get blurred, and then you're doing it for a reason that's like maybe not driven the right way.
Exactly.
And then you start to like hate it a little bit because you're like, oh, I thought I was good and I auditioned for all this stuff and I didn't get any of it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, am I not good now? Like, is that what that means? And all of that together gets blurred. But I think it's good that you like are able to separate those things out. That's really awesome. I love that for you.
Thanks, dude.
What is your biggest insecurity about you as a professional, and how do you tell yourself that it's not true?
Oh shit. Okay. Oh my God, I have so many insecurities. I mean, like, there are days where I'm just like, do I suck? Like, am I bad? And the thing is, it's like...
Same, and I don't even have the same profession as you. Just wake up and I'm like, do I suck? Probably.
But there are days you feel like that, and the thing is, you just have to, like, debunk those negative thoughts, because you're like, there are days I didn't feel like this. Like, I know I don't feel this way.
Yeah.
I have, and not that, like, oh, I booked this, so it doesn't mean, so it means, like, no, but, like, I've gotten jobs, there are people that have validated me, and also, like, I'm allowed to have days where I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that I suck. Like, and I'm also allowed to mess up.
Totally.
Like, I have had bad auditions, and I can't let bad auditions make me give up.
Are there any funny ones?
They're just sad. Like, oh, no. Like, I one time, well, okay, I didn't really want to get into that. I don't mean to shit on anyone's projects or anyone's work, but there was a show called Emoji Land the Musical, and I don't know what it is. I've actually heard it was good. So I don't mean to say anything bad about Emoji Land the Musical, but I'm like, I'm auditioning for an emoji, so like I didn't feel that pressure. But I sang this like Ariana Grande song, and I was really pumped too, and they were like jamming with me, and then I don't know what it was, but I went flat. And like I have really good intonation, and I know that like for me I was like, whoa, and his face went and then he just looked down, and then I knew it was over, and he knew it was over, and I was like, see you later.
Stop.
I was like, I want to apologize, but like I just gotta go. I just gotta get out of here.
There's no coming back for that.
Yeah.
How could you give up such a big project like Emoji Land the Musical?
Well, it's supposed
to be. That's a make or break.
I know. I was in for construction.
Was it a what?
What? Well, you know how good I am with power tools.
Wait, what was your part?
I don't know. I just had to I had to come in and like sing a pop song.
As a construction worker.
That was the part I was auditioning for, construction. So
I guess it was animated.
It's a musical.
Oh, I thought it was like an animated show.
No. There might be like animated projections. That would be.
And you were gonna be the.
I was auditioning. No, I was just auditioning. I got called in to audition for a construction worker.
Emojiland, what? He's looking at you like what? You should have looked at him like what? Like what is this musical? Oh
I actually heard it was like fun and good. I never saw it, but
yeah. When you go into like big auditions, do all auditions feel the same to you? If you like believe in the project, you're just like, okay, it doesn't matter, give it your all. Outside Emojiland.
I think that like the people on the other side of the panel like make or break an audition for me. Like if they're open, like I've been in with, oh my God, I've been in with casting directors and they're like, hello love, how are you? And I'm like, oh, like you already love me. Like I can now do like an amazing job. But some people just look at you and they're like,
okay.
Like they're not rooting for you. Or maybe they are, but you just don't really feel that energy from them and like it can, make you feel weird. They say that auditioning is like dating. Like,
how so?
Because, like, you have to go in being confident, being like, this is why I'm great. But also, like, I have to see what I feel about you, too. And, like, you play hard to get a little bit. Like, you wear your cute outfit, but, like, you're not, if you are dating someone and they're way too eager, you're like, nah, I'm not,
Yeah. We've been swiping on each other's dating apps this weekend, and I'm so sorry to anybody who's matched with us all around the world. We've taken a passport trip through the Hinge world into other countries.
Yeah, someone thinks I live in Madrid right now.
In his defense, you said C when he said Madrid, and you said
put a little accent on there.
And he said, this is a dream relationship. And I was like, boy, she don't live there. You're in for a really bad time. But I blame my friend Soloni, who like always does this thing where she's like, guys, like, let's take a trip.
Yeah, let's travel.
I'm like, what? And like, do you want to do drugs? She's like, no, let's change our location to like Tibet and then swipe there. I'm like,
well, you went to India last night, and that was.
I did. I have a couple boyfriends in India right now, guys. And if you guys are watching this, I don't live in India. I don't live.
She almost swiped on a guy that just had photos of cars.
Yeah, he claimed to be the car, and then it was like, it was just like pictures of this like red Mazda, and then it was like things you should know about me, and it was like, no. I was like, you should date me if you should not date me. I was like, what? And it was just like interior, exterior shots of this red Mazda.
He's just trying to sell his car, but on Tinder. On
my favorite was Goa Trip. So there was an account called Goa Trip, and it was just pictures of different women. It was like all expenses paid, looking for someone to go to Goa with me. And I was like, but which girl are you? And it was none of them.
I think he was looking for women that looked like those women.
This is not a casting call. It's a dating app.
And also, like, he should know if you're the type that he wants to take
I'm
out.
going to literally keep my India relations until I go back to India. And I'm going to go on a date with one of them. Let's talk about your dual identity, because you are half white. Well, your mom is white and your dad is Indian, and so you have this dual identity. And we were over the weekend, we've talked about kind of how you're never white enough or never Indian enough, vice versa. How does that play into when you're looking at casting and when you're evaluating yourself? Like, do you ever have that complex of like, where do I belong?
No, totally. I think there's like an internal struggle of like, yeah, like, I have these two different parts of me, and it's like, it's cultural, and it's about how I look, and it's about all these things, and then that is inside of me. Yeah. But then also, it gets even more complicated when people like to make judgments about who I am and what they think I am, and they want to guess, and they want to, they're so cute. Like, oh my God, how many times have people come, I mean, I'm sure it happens to you too. What are you? Like,
well, I look like really Daisy.
Yeah, no, that's, no, that's,
I don't think anybody's
but like some idiot might be like, what are you?
Definitely.
I mean,
I've gotten it before, but it's so interesting because my friends who look a little bit more ethnically diverse will get like asked if they're Hispanic and stuff. Yeah. Which I never get. I feel like people always know. They're like, she's this. Like, just like walking around, like, don't talk to me. But you've been saying that people try to cast you for like Middle Eastern stuff and stuff like that, and it's also like,
I get called in a lot. I mean, now they have this whole group of Manasa, which is interesting.
What is that?
It's ME, so Middle Eastern, and a North African, SA, South Asian.
Okay.
And they're all sort of grouped, and I'm like low-key all of those things. I'm South Asian, but culturally completely, but like because I'm Parsi, I have that Middle Eastern and North African like roots potentially.
Look,
exactly.
Yeah, you do.
So that's there, but it's interesting because like I did just play a Puerto Rican woman from the 1950s.
Which is, which like you were saying, it's like...
It's controversial and it's not necessarily, like, it's complicated.
Well, is it interesting performing that in Tokyo? Because people there probably don't meet Puerto Ricans or South Asians as much as you would maybe here.
Right. And
so
I feel like...
for them, they're kind of like, okay.
And especially because I have a lot of, like, Latinx friends that call themselves brown. And I'm like, well, I call myself brown, so we're both... we are both brown.
I actually didn't know that people did that until, like, recently.
I think it is, like, more of a recent
all
thing.
Brown people.
We're all brown people.
Yeah.
And I'm also, like, I know what the immigrant experience is because of my father. And there are various, like, I understand. I just feel like even though it's not necessarily my culture...
Yeah. There's lots of noise. Anyways, continue.
If it's not my culture, but I can learn some things.
Yeah.
And truthfully, like, even if I was doing, like, an Indian character, there would be a lot I'd have to learn anyways.
No, yeah. I'm insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's always interesting because I'm like, even if I had to play, like, an Indian girl from India, I would have to do a lot of research. I speak the language and I'm an Indian girl.
Yeah.
But I think I'd still be like...
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
I don't know what it's like to go to school there. I don't know what it's like to go to college
there. I did so much research on, like, dialect and the history and, like, just learning as much as I possibly could because I don't know. And then I had lots of conversations with one of our choreographer was from Puerto Rico and moved here when he was 20. And, like, I remember just having this really long conversation with him about, like, what his experience was like. And also, like, specifically having a dialect that was Puerto Rican, like, speaking Puerto Rican Spanish.
And not just, like, a gen Hispanic accent.
Right, like the Spanish that you learn in high school is just not the same Spanish. So, like, I really, really tried to do the culture a justice. And knowing especially that this is not my culture and I'm not going to claim this as my culture. And yeah, I did it in Tokyo. I did it in a place where we're introducing, like, such an entirely different world to a very, very different community. Like, I think I would feel differently about doing something like that in the US or, but it was a beautiful experience, not to say. And I, like, love, I feel like no matter what, you have to, like, stretch yourself and learn no matter what you do. So I felt like that was a beautiful opportunity to do that. And also, I brought so much of my own personal story into that of, like, I always said this, I was like, I am a product of the love that this story is about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, this is a white person falling in love with a brown person and they're not allowed to be together. And my parents definitely, like, had some battles along the way, but, like, of course, they made it. They didn't die at the end of the story.
Spoiler
alert for West Side Story. But that I felt like I could really lend myself to, and also, like, I felt just like all ethnicity aside, like, I have a similar heart to Maria.
Oh, okay.
I've always felt
that's good.
So.
Let's talk about social media cleanse.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this, but kind of like, what is your boundary? Like, when is your time to be like, okay, I'm gonna put my phone away. This is too much. I'm looking at stuff for way too long, and this does not even matter. Because, like I was saying, you are, like, a very down-to-earth person, and you like to read and write and stuff. So there definitely is that time where you don't need to be necessarily on your phone, but we all do it anyways, where we're, like, scrolling for no reason. You realize it's been an hour and you're like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this?
Right, like, it becomes such a time waster.
Yeah.
And I try to, like, I honestly feel like if I didn't have to be searchable for my career, I would not have an Instagram.
That's interesting.
And I try to curate my feed to be, like, work that I do, like commercials and photo shoots and, like, projects and clips from things and, like, little acting clips, and also who I am. So, like, me hiking or me like
doing things you actually like to do.
Yeah, to show the kind of characters I would play, to show the kind of world that I fit into naturally. And, like, obviously I'm an actress, so I could do many, many things, but we said this, but it's really easy, especially on Instagram, to be like, look how hot I am. And then to get put into that, like,
go
hot
to my
girl.
Instagram.
Well,
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, but like and look, I'm down to be like a hot, strong woman, but like if I always lead with that, I'm not going to play interesting characters. It's just not going to happen.
Like, you're the hot girl, and like, what's my character? Like, she's just hot.
She's just hot. She has no personality. Like,
like no
doesn't
interest.
Say anything.
No backstory.
You're just gonna stand there.
It's so funny. Like the first time I was like, oh my god, that girl is so hot, was, and like tangibly remember, it was like when I was watching Megan Fox in Transformers, and then recently I read an interview of hers where she was like, I hated that, because then I was just the hot girl forever with nothing to add value to it. I'm like, it's so interesting as an audience, we perceive things one way, and then the people acting in it see it completely differently.
And that gets so idolized, and like you want to be that, but then feeling and that, like you when you have more to offer,
you get boxed in, right?
Right. And the thing is, some people are empowered by that, so I don't want to take any of that light away from people that are like, they live in their power, being like, look at my body and like take this in. And it's like, that's powerful. That's just not personally what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about. So I gave you a really tough question, but we're going to go back. If you had to cast your family in a musical, so she has a brother, mom, dad, her, and they're like a goofy, quirky family.
We are.
Where are we putting? What musical were you casting them in?
So I think we decided on Mary Poppins.
Well, your mommy's Mary Poppins.
My mom's Mary Poppins.
And then we just fit the rest of you into the
My
story.
mom also like kind of looks like Julie Andrews. Just a little bit.
Does she really?
She has a Julie Andrews vibe.
That's so cute.
She is like a singer, and she's so like, she'll be strict, but she's so amazing. Like she's such an amazing mom.
She's also like an artist. So that's probably like so freeing in spirit.
She would like sing to us to like put, all of that. So that was, I think my mom is Mary Poppins is perfect.
Oh my god.
My dad could totally be Dick Van Dyke.
Yes, because her dad is in a band, and in the beginning he has like the drum and the thing, and he's like walking around. Insert photo of the thing and the thing. Insert the photo. Because I don't like the one-man drum kit, and he has like the little harmonica on his shoulder, and he's like...
Yeah. He's multi-talented.
And her dad's in an IIT rock band, so there you go, boom.
He has his own band.
And then you and your brother could be the two little kids.
Yeah.
Aww.
Don't they have like cute pets too? No.
Pets?
They have a dog? No.
What movie are you saying?
You know what I cast me and my family in before?
What?
Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Oh, we talked
because
about
my parents and my brother all live in
Northern
California, and I live in New York. And then I go home and just use all their stuff. I'm
going to get into this bed.
Yeah. Which porridge do I want? Not this one. You try all of them. And so I'm Goldilocks, and then Little Bears.
Oh, wait, that's also so cute. I love that. So, to wrap it up, the most important question, the pending question is, Sonya, who do you like? Outside the boyfriends from Madrid and Spain and India and other places that we've been Portugal, wherever you were on Hinge, aside from them, who do you like? What are you into right now?
What am I into? I really like this book I'm reading right now.
Okay, let's talk about it.
It's called The Overstory. It's by Richard Powers. He won the Pulitzer for it like 2 years ago.
Same. I'm just kidding. I've not won a Pulitzer. That was a joke. People are like, she said she won. I didn't. What is the book about?
It's about like so many different. It's all these different stories, and it's about trees essentially.
What?
So fascinating. No, but it's about all these different like really interesting people and families, and the thing that links all of them is trees. Like they'll have a tree growing in their backyard, or like one person is someone who works with preservation, and like there's all of these, and then the characters start to connect, or like the grandchild of one character will meet another character, and it's also just one of those books that's so beautifully written. Like I will be reading, and then I'll just have to go back and start reading out loud to myself, just to be like, I need to hear how these words sound, because it's just so like perfectly put together. There's like, and it's super diverse in terms of character and like age, and it's beautiful. Like there's a few different immigrant stories in there, and then there's some like generations of families. Like just it's a gorgeous book. I'm only like halfway done with it, but
that's so
it's like
exciting.
400 pages.
I also did put her on Palace of Illusions, which is one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
If you haven't read about it or read it, it's the entire Mahabharata told from Draupadi's point of view. So we're really excited for you to also read that.
That's next.
So good.
That's next. I also read a book by Gloria Steinem over this time, which was cool.
Which book was it? Do you remember that? We can circle back.
But you know, she's like a goddess of like 1960s feminism.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many books.
That. Well, I'm so glad that you got to be on the show. We'd
so
love
glad
to
be
have
on
you
this magic carpet.
on this magic carpet ride. We're sitting on the ground because my parents are renovating their house, and so they don't have couches currently. We're homeless.
But
Love
it's great. I keep seeing photos of what this space looked like with a couch in it.
And now
it's weird.
Should we just not have couches, like a living room with the floor?
I like this a lot.
Thanks for watching, you guys. Like and subscribe. I will see you guys next week.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.